Kyrie Irving, a very famous basketball player, has been suspended for 5 games. But there is very much we can learn about this situation right here about money and power. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? This is JC, and welcome to the Wealth Engineering channel. This is where I create content that talks about anything to do with business and investing. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the business of the NBA, the investments that the players make sometimes inside and outside of the NBA, and how Kyrie Irving is destroying a lot of his future investment in the NBA and also potential deals outside. But could it be working on something bigger? We're going to be talking about that. For those who don't know, Kyrie Irving is a professional basketball player, and arguably, he made the biggest shot in NBA history. That's right, he helped LeBron James achieve one of his greatest life goals, bringing a championship in his native city. And since then, he's been bouncing from teams to teams, making a killing in the process, huge salary. We're talking about at least $30 million per year. But the last couple years, Kyrie have been acting weird, to say the least, right? He has been the source of a lot of controversy in the NBA. And every time he makes one of these controversy, his appeal has been disappearing over and over to the point that now no one really wants him. And the Brooklyn Nets are stuck with Kyrie Irving on a $34 and $36 million contract per year. For example, during the lockdown, we had the death of George Floyd, and the NBA was looking to start over again. But Kyrie Irving was actually trying to use his influence and his power to say, hey, this is the time that we actually could bargain if he wanted to, and let's just lock down, not go to work, and collect his money while we can, but also try to demand something. The whole country was kind of like awakened, trying to look for ways to improve the life of African American, and using the George Floyd movement and the Black Lives Matter movement as a way to get their narrative heard. So Kyrie Irving was at the head of this movement, forcing the NBA owners to work together to come up with a plan and deliver it to Michael Jordan, who's the only African American NBA owner delivering the message to the group of players, right? They kind of like sending one of their owns to talk some sense with them. And Michael Jordan did that absolutely great. So Kyrie Irving's plan didn't go well. And in 2021, kind of like in a way to protest himself, he's saying, hey, I'm not taking the vaccine, which is fair, which is right. But because of that, his team couldn't actually play him in New York. And now their team is stuck with paying him a large sums of money and not getting the results that they paid for him. Kyrie Irving is great at getting people to pay him millions and millions of dollars without doing the work for him.
Kyrie Irving is worth the money. I'm not implying that I wouldn't give him the money. What I'm saying is it would be an opt out after every year if I could pull it off. You got to show up to work.
You see, a lot of power is based on influence and how many people want or need what you have to provide. When you have something that a lot of people want and need, you have a lot of power and leverage over that thing, right? But if people are losing interest in you, then you no longer hold that same power, right? And that's exactly what happened to Kyrie Irving. But in his mind, he still thinks he's worth $36 million. He still thinks that he has the last shot, the most exciting shot in NBA history. He still thinks he has the same level of power. Now, he had a reality check in the summer 2022 as he was trying to join forces with his former partner, LeBron James, who wants nothing to do with the drama that comes with Kyrie Irving. But he tried to join forces with him. That didn't happen. He couldn't break away from his contract. And then now we all knew something crazy was coming from Kyrie this year. But within less than 10 games from the NBA starting, we actually have this new controversy coming. Last week, Kyrie Irving shared a documentary that people are deemed to be anti Semitic. And the name of this documentary is called From Hebrews to Negroes. I haven't seen this documentary myself. I have nothing to say about it. I don't know if it's anti Semitic or not, but the NBA and the owner of the Brooklyn Nets consider it as anti Semitic. And that's a problem. They say if you want to know who has power over you and who rules over you, well, just look at who you can't criticize. And it seems that twice now that we have African American celebrities using anti Semitics to either get out of their contracts with a company or get out of the contracts that they don't like in the NBA teams, right? However, Kyrie Irving didn't play his card right because what he didn't realize is he's not wanted in any other teams. No teams wants him. And he is losing the support of the players himself, right? And that's an important lesson to learn about power. Again, as I mentioned, the power comes from the people that want and needs your service. In this situation, it's the owners, the NBA team owner that wants and needs the service Kyrie can bring. But if they realize you're a lot more trouble than you're worth, then they can take actions to not pay you, for example. According to this report, this is how much money the Brooklyn Nets was paying Kyrie every year. And he's at the fourth year of his contract getting paid 36 millions. That means every game he can get paid about $431,000. There's 82 games in a season, and per game, this is how much he would be making. However, according to ESPN, he has been suspended for at least 5 games without pay all the way to Thursday. And because of that, well, he's going to be losing close to $2 million, guys. Now, this is not the end of it. They can decide to completely cut his contract off and not pay him. Not long ago, the NBA forced a team owner to sell his team and get out of the NBA because of his racist comments. They have no tolerance for the team owners. Do you think they're going to have tolerance for players if they deems what you say is anti-Semitic? Absolutely not. Again, who run the world? And one thing to understand about power, guys, having money does not mean you have power. Someone like Michael Jordan has a lot of money. He's a billionaire, right? He owns an NBA team, and even him cannot say whatever he wants on Twitter, even if he does have freedom of speech. The problem with freedom of speech is he doesn't limit you from freedom of consequences. What you say has weight, and the more influence you have, the more weight it has. You have to be careful about that, right? And because of that, the NBA won't necessarily platform you if they don't agree with what you're saying, regardless of how much money you have. Because ultimately, the NBA organization itself holds the power, right? They have been building this brand over 75 years. This is their 76 years. There's a lot of money into it. We're talking about billions in revenue per year. They are also very tight with the media. Now, we don't know who owns the media, right? I'm not going to say it's Jewish people, but hey, who knows, right? So in this situation, the NBA owns all the power. So what Kyrie Irving should have done was actually collect as much money as he can, get out of the NBA, and leverage the marketing of the NBA to build his own empire. He could have done that by collecting as much money as he wants from Nike, and then after starts his own shoe brand. Maybe work with Kanye, right, to release a shoe brand together, like a collaboration. He could have done that. He could also work on building another league, another basketball league where African American would hold more power as opposed to being controlled by the NBA organization, which is not owned by African American, right? Michael Jordan is barely the only one, and he had to work very hard to get there. The source of the power of the NBA comes also from the player themselves, right? The problem is, will the players accept a low salary at the beginning after college, or will they be likely accepting millions and millions of dollars from year one that the NBA can supply them? So this is where it's going to be a problem for Kyrie if he decide to compete with the NBA. But these are the risks, right? At the end of the day, Kyrie pride himself to be a leader, and it's going to be a very interesting test for him to see if he's going to put his money where his mouth is. Are you going to sacrifice all that money? We're talking about $400,000 every time you play the game, and you owe 36 million for the year. Are you going to sacrifice all that for your belief? It's going to be interesting to see what Kyrie does next. But the sad truth is, this is not the first time we're going to see a celebrity using anti-Semitic to get out of an unwanted situation. Just this morning, the FBI was saying because of Elon Musk freedom of speech, everyone can talk, and Jewish communities are getting threats because of that. They can actually use that to shut down people's voice. So they can actually use that to control what Elon Musk do. So again, power. Who has the power? But that's a topic for another day. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be releasing another video about Elon Musk and his true intention behind buying Twitter. Make sure you subscribe. I want to see your comment below, and we'll talk on the next one.
Hey, yeah. It's all about wealth engineering. Might be something that you're not used to. It's okay, cause I'm here to introduce you to concepts. Time to grow and make big moves. All about crypto, come see. Stocks and business, yes indeed. Got the info that you need. Hosted by my homie JC.